Let's start by coming into wide-kneed child's pose with no twist, just a wide-kneed child's pose. And just allow your first couple breaths to not only guide your knees wide, maybe put some padding underneath them or go long ways on your mat. But you can allow some dramatic sighs or noises or anything that helps your body kind of be more present here. So you take your knees as wide as they go, and you can feel a stretch even in your groins. It's not this like comfortable child's pose that we're often searching for. Just notice if you can remember any of your dreams or first thoughts upon waking up this morning. And it's not like, you know, we get so many impressions and kind of messages in our dreams. And we can get very poetic and extrapolated and, you know, expect something that sounds sacred or holy every time. But since you are a dreamer of dreams, you know that's not true. That images and impressions and even words in a dream can be on a very kind of mundane level, even if it harkens to a deeper message. So the end of my dream, right before our alarm went off, was somehow tubing in a mud slide on the way across my street to get more milk. But it was like the Nibbler farm had become this like mud race course. And because of our exquisite capacity for story making, we always have capacity to make meaning. But sometimes it's also very useful just to go through the motions of the practice, like making like just, oh, I do remember my dreams. Let me take a moment and notice what I remember. And just like when we're in our yang flow, doing abdominal work and these repetitive movements, this practice of looking in and noticing if you can remember your dreams is one that strengthens our capacity to remember our dreams. Even if on some days the practice seems not at all in line with like a higher intention around it. But a lot of these things we want to take up in our life are these practices, these building of capacities, and the repetition of little things to achieve a big goal. Now just slide your knees back together and take your arms behind you in embryo pose. Maybe in the darkness of this pose, just take a moment to either choose your own concentration for your practice or dedicate your practice to someone as a gift. And then slide forward, coming into Sphinx. Take a couple moments to make the small adjustments, lining up your elbows just in front of your shoulders. Let your legs be as wide as is comfortable for your lower back. And then come into the yin. So find that you have found the shape for your body. Become still on purpose. And then can soften into staying. And maybe with your eyes closed, maybe with your eyes open, take some time to look and observe your thinking so far this morning. Take some breaths to notice the emotions in your being today. And then drop into the sensations of your body. We come into our check-in this way to remind us that our practice is rooted in spirit while on a physical existence, in a physical existence. When yoga started first being introduced in the East, we often talk about when it was introduced in the West, the practice was really called in to help people incarnate and manifest to the earth. And now I think one of the most important utilizations of this physical yoga practice is to reawaken our connection to the subtle bodies, to the invisible in our humanity, in our beingness. So you start from the earth and move upward to actually confirm your manifestation. Where you start from the invisible in spirit and move downward to reaffirm our beingness beyond the physical. Allow your next inhale to actually actively come into either this or cobra, stretching your arms, because it's not passive, it's not seal. You can even bend your knees and bring your head to your feet to your head. Effort into it, and then with your exhale, soften down to the mat. Taking your gaze to one side or the other and wiggling your hips side to side. And then bend your right knee, reach your left arm to your right and roll open into the twist. Bend your right knee, Yes. And then the arm goes the other way. You got it, Sabine. Yes. Take a full breath in, and with your exhale, feel your body relax. Of course, get there however you want. So this path of attention, or what would you say? This route of looking from the invisible down to the manifest. This is a very, very familiar track for us as human beings. Hundreds of years ago, Lao Tzu wrote, "Watch your thoughts. They become words. Watch your words. They become actions. Watch your actions. They become habits. Watch your habits. They become character. Watch your character, because it becomes your destiny." So this is this mirroring of an incarnation, this connection between our inner world, our inner life, the intimacy of thinking, how it affects what we do and our whole attitude, becoming ultimately our destiny, the path of our biography. An indigenous group of the Sierra Nevadas, the Koji. I spoke about them not so long ago. But they also, in the movie, the documentary that they initiated being made, they talk about how we have strayed from the sacredness of our thinking, and that actually it's our loss of thinking capacity that is destroying the physical world. So that we have no more, we have become so encased in materialism that we think the origin is in the stuff, instead of the origin being in the holy and invisible. And the closest place where we all day long have access to this invisible world is through the power of our thought. What we allow ourselves to fill up ourselves from the inside with. So in more contemporary, or from, Lao Tzu didn't write that in English. Of course, it was like ancient Chinese. But this holiness, this sacredness of what is a capacity in the human being, echoes the birth of the world. In more modern times, Orland Bishop talks about how it's so important what we pay attention to. So where we place our attention is connected to the human being's freedom. And our attention becomes intention. And then this intentional attention becomes revelation. And through revelation, manifestation. Roll back onto your belly. You can moan and groan a little bit, wiggle, move, cry. And then if you're on your belly, you're going to bend your left knee and you're going to thread your right arm behind your left arm and flip open by opening your left arm to the right. Ta-da! It's a little bit like taking a new way home from work. We go into this twist all the time, but we don't so often come from lying on our belly. So with different language, the same idea is presented to us. And while now often thinking has kind of become maybe more narrow, connected more to intelligence and such, attention is something even a child can do. I mean, albeit not necessarily always so well, or maybe not seemingly so free. But we have kind of made thinking kind of more exclusive and connect it to intelligence, when really I'm talking about the kind of thinking that any human can participate in. But attention has a lot more, in our modern language, has a lot more room for inclusivity. You don't have to be really smart to pay attention. With guidance, you can become more wise at what you pay attention to. But the basis isn't, no one is barred. And there's something about paying attention that actually evokes and often opens up our capacity for love. I know whenever I'm painting a portrait, and it doesn't even have to be of anybody I know, it can be somebody who's passed away or someone who's a stranger to me. This focused attention of looking at their face for hours on end always brings me to a moment where I can feel love for that human being just by the grace of the curve of their chin or the arc of their lip. But let me give you another example through the words of George Washington Carver. Anything will give up its secrets if you love it enough. Not only have I found that when I talk to the little flower or to the little peanut, they will give up their secrets But I have found when I silently commune with people, they give up their secrets too, if you love them enough. And then roll yourself all the way open onto your back. And we're going to come into a mini Shavasana. You can be any size. It's just going to be a short one. So feel the earth supporting you. We want to, just like how our thinking starts, it starts in the protection in the darkness of ourselves, in our skull or heart. And then through our speaking, through our doing, through our actions, it comes into light. And then hug your knees up to your chest. And you're going to first rock a little bit side to side, massaging your lower back, hugging your knees to your chest. And then start to rock back and forth on your spine. And then, you're going to start to spin around. So you're going to rock like 3 or 4 times. And maybe your last rock will rock you all the way into a forward fold at the top of your yoga mat. Wow, it might be a rock and a push. Oh, take your knees a little soft and your feet wide. And you can let your upper body kind of dangle, or you can hook your elbows with your hands. Gotcha. Let your knees be soft so it gives you a little bit more length in your hamstrings. Notice where you can let go. Notice where you want to engage. So you already start to awaken your bandhas. So maybe engaging your root lock, your mula bandha, your uddiyana bandha. And then release your hands to the ground. And you can actually use your hands this morning and just actually grab your shins, walk your hands up your legs, squeezing, massaging your thighs. Maybe it's just grabbing your own butt. Yay yoga. And then all the way, work it up and come to a standing position, reaching your arms up over your head. And then imagine that you're trying to climb up through the ceiling, a little dramatic version, and reach one arm after the other. And we're going to do something a little weird here just because, I'm with my homies, so I feel pretty comfortable. We're going to do a little eurythmy-L. So a eurythmy-L starts here. You relax your hands down and you make a little little halo of light with your hands. Yeah. And you can let that halo start to get bigger. And this is one of the most basic eurythmy moves, and we use it when we do hallelujahs. So you want to feel this kind of expansive quality. And then take one where your arms are completely stretched out and big. And then inhale, stretch your arms up. And with your exhale, samastitihi. Empty your breath. Let's take a pause here first. Maybe you lift up an image of someone you're dedicating your class to. Some place even. Empty your breath and let's sound 3 ohms. Take a deep inhale. Allow your hands to release down by your side. Open your eyes, and with your inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, bow forward, either swan diving forward if your back is fine, or bringing your hands to your heart center. Let your head drop. Inhale, halfway lift, reaching the crown of your head forward, reaching your hips a little back, long spine, and then step back to plank. And just a little good morning. You're going to roll, keeping your feet exactly where they are. Roll to the outside of your feet as you raise up your left arm, come up into a supported kind of side plank. Your feet are hip distance apart still, as I said. And then bring your left hand back down to the ground. You should find yourself in plank. And then just open up your right arm. And then do it again if it was a little confusing first. Bring your right hand down. Your feet are hip distance apart. Bring your left arm up, stretch through your arms. And then right side to complete the round. Come back to plank. And either lower all the way down to the ground, or maybe you're ready for an early chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Invite a small bend into your knees to really feel that you can extend the back of your legs, reaching your lower butt towards the heavens. Feel your fingers spread out. With your knees slightly bent, you can probably feel a little bit more balance between the weight in your hands, the weight in your feet. Fuel up with your next inhale, and with your exhale, empty your breath all the way and either hop or walk your feet in between your hands. Inhale, fly your halfway lift, raising your arms, feeling your back body expand. Exhale, release and bow down. Maybe your gaze going all the way up to your belly button. Push down with your heels, roll up one vertebrae at a time, like a nautilus shell unrolling. Stretch up tall. Exhale, samastitihi. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step back to plank again. Raise your left arm, rolling to the right. Both feet stay where they are. Bring your left hand down. Inhale, lift up your right arm, rolling to the left. And then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel the path of your breath. Rooting down with the first knuckle of your fingers. And then a little slightly more advanced as you pull back with the tips of your fingers. It's very weird instructions. Yeah. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. Now this time, hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down, maybe hugging your knees. Root down with your heels, roll all the way up to the sky, stretch up tall. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So it's important that if you're jumping to chaturanga, you bend your elbows as you move. So you land with bending elbows. You don't want to jump to plank. It's very aggressive for your joints. So even though we're moving into yang, which is much more an accepted field of aggression, we're not practicing that. We want to really be at our edge, but not fighting with ourselves. Take a full inhale, empty your breath all the way, and then float your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and grab the back of your knees. And then bend your knees and whip your arms up. Uttanasana. Let's take a couple breaths here. So find the weight in your heels so your toes can be light. You want to engage and get active in a way that you can tuck your tail a little bit, but keep lifting up your chest. Take another full inhale, and with your exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, feel the length of your spine. And then exhale, chaturanga, bending your arms as you jump. Nice. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Your heart moving forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, touch your right knee to your left elbow. Inhale, stretch your right leg long. And again, exhale, take your right knee to your left elbow. Inhale, stretch your right leg long. This time, bring it down through the center, knee to your nose. And then deliver your right foot, heel to toe next to your right thumb. Bring your left knee down onto the ground. And inhale up, bringing your hands onto your knee. This is like proposal asana. Yes. And then from here, reach your arms up. You can feel that you want to slightly drop into the stretch, but not without losing a nice squeeze in your hips. Take another full inhale, maybe going a little deeper. And then with your exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. With your exhale, tap your right elbow. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale again, tap your right elbow, maybe a little bit higher this time. Inhale, stretch your left leg long. Exhale, down the middle, bring your knee to your nose. Feel this compactness and then step forward, bringing your left foot to your left thumb. Right knee comes down to the ground. First, support yourself by putting your hands on your knees. This just allows you to lift up nice and tall, and then extend your invisible spine up over your head and come into the fullness of your back bend right now. So the fullness of your back bend right now is you're not so warmed up yet. You're getting there, but you don't want to like yank and force your body beyond where you need to go. Take another full inhale and exhale. I love chaturanga. I just can't help myself. Inhale, upward facing dog or the other thing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Allowing your downward facing dog to become a place like a sanctuary, really, in your practice. You can let your knees be soft, find the space you need in it. Notice how your breath is. Bring your attention to finding rhythm in your breath. Take another full inhale, empty your breath all the way, and then walk or float your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flying your arms up. Exhale, hug the back of your knees, let your head drop. And then drop your booty and sweep your arms up. Uttanasana. Now in Uttanasana, we're going to let our right arm drop and we're going to do a little side bend here. We don't usually do it in Uttanasana. We usually do it standing. But you want to feel that your ribs are stretching. I have my arm down my side more than on my knee, but your variations, I'm sure, are fine. And then inhale, Uttanasana. And then other side. So staying in this weird kind of seated position, let your hips be dropping and stretching all through your rib cage, your side body here. And then Uttanasana. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, tap your right elbow with your right knee. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, do it again, maybe even lifting up towards your shoulder more. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, step forward. Nyasana, crescent lunge. Raise your arms up. And with your exhale, open arm twist to your right. And then inhale, stretch your left arm up. Bring your right hand to your left thigh. And let's take a couple breaths here. So this is stretching the side body with a twist. Don't forget about your lunge. Your right knee's lunging. And then find your alignment forward again as you raise your arms up. Not Uttanasana, crescent lunge. And then exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your glorious left leg up to the sky. With your exhale, tap your fabulous elbow on your left side. Woo. Inhale, stretch your left leg long. Exhale, maybe a little bit higher on the top half of your elbow. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, step forward, rise up, crescent lunge. And then exhale, open arm twist to your left. Inhale, stretch your right arm up as your left arm reaches down. Let's take a couple breaths here, not rushing through the weirdness. So a twist with a side body extension. And then inhale, nothing. I did the same thing. Inhale, crescent lunge. How balanced. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale, glide forward into plank. And we're going to start off the same way as we've done a couple times already. Roll to your right, keeping your feet hip distance apart. Stretch your left arm up to the sky. Now, if you'd like to go further into the pose, you can bring your right foot more to the ground and stack your left foot on top. So eventually you actually have the whole bottom of your right foot on the ground here. And if you want a little bit more of a challenge, not only straighten your fingers and your wrist on your left hand, but maybe lift up your left leg a little bit, or just bend your knee and lift your leg. Or if you want to go a little bit further, you can take your left fingers to your left big toe and hook onto your toe. And then exhale, chaturanga. Yes, inhale, plank. It's a push-up. Yeah. And then take it to the other side. So start with your feet hip distance apart. Roll open. This really helps your upper body alignment. And then roll really to the out. You're already on the outside of your left foot. Bring your right foot stacked on top of it, concentrating and imagining putting the whole bottom of your left foot onto the ground. And then maybe bend your knee or lift your leg. Where's your challenge? Where's your edge? Or maybe you actually even hook onto your big toe with your peace fingers, radiating into the full expression of the pose. And then exhale, chaturanga, inhale, plank. Yes, a good old-fashioned push-up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Invite a small bend into your knees. Take a couple of breaths here. Noticing maybe your energy is being lifted. Maybe you're sweating a little bit, glowing a little bit. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way and then walk or float your feet up in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flying your halfway lift. Exhale, hug the back of your knees. And then bend your knees, drop your butt. Inhale, Uttanasana. How can I drop my butt? Okay. And then with your exhale, open arm twist to your right. And then even though your leg isn't behind you, you're going to stretch your left arm up, reach your right arm further down. Then inhale, Uttanasana. And with your exhale, open arm twist to your left, feeling your knees squeeze together, your hips squeeze. And then inhale, lift up your right arm, reach your left arm back. And then inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, bring your knee wherever you want. Oh, freedom. So confusing. Inhale, stretch your leg long and do another variation. Inhale, stretch your leg long. And then exhale, step your foot to your right thumb, rise up, crescent lunge. And with your exhale, fly forward into airplane. Reach through your fingertips, tying our work together here. With your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And then hinge forward, Ikipata Uttanasana. Let your hands release down to the ground, grabbing one ankle at a time. One ankle at a time. You're not going to grab your top ankle today. You're just going to grab your bottom ankle. Letting your upper body really drop down. Imagine your head is heavier, and this then gives you the balance as you drop your head to your foot for your leg to sweep up even higher. And then just walk your hands out so they're right underneath your shoulders. Keeping your left hand on the ground. Square your hips if they're not squared already. They should be from the last pose. And then open your twist, lifting your right arm up. And then release your right hand down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, one-footed chaturanga. Has been spotted on a yoga mat. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. Free choice. Exhale, do something with your left knee and something or other. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Again, repeat it. Inhale, stretch your leg long. And with your exhale, step your left foot forward to your left thumb, rise up. Crescent lunge. And then exhale, fly into airplane. So you want to feel the more active you are with your limbs, the lighter they become. So you're reaching with like the ball of your right toe and your heel back to square your hip. And then bring your hands to prayer and just start to hinge forward. If you need to, you're welcome to release your hands down to the ground and then bring one hand at a time to your ankle for Ikipata Uttanasana. You want to notice how much your thinking change how you are in this pose. So even just for a moment, pretend and think that you can step your right foot onto the ceiling. Really do it, feel it in your body. Notice how it changes the pose. And then release your hands down, line up your hands underneath your shoulders. Your hips are still squared. With your inhale, drag your chest forward, lengthen your spine. With your exhale, raise your left arm up, twisting to your left. We're here for a couple breaths. Keep actively reaching your right leg higher. And then with your exhale, bring your left hand down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, one-footed chaturanga. Oh, that was a nice slide. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, move forward into plank. And then open up into Vashisthasana. So however you want to get there, maybe you get there the way you've been practicing all day. Maybe you go to the edge. Maybe you hook onto your toes this time. No. Maybe you try something out and that's awesome. Maybe you mess it up. Maybe you don't. And then find a little chaturanga. Whoop, whoop. Inhale, plank. Yeah. Oh, that was cute. And then open up to the left-hand side. Reach your arms apart. And then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, fuel up. Empty your breath all the way in Kabaka. And then jump your feet through your hands, coming onto your butt. Beautiful. And then do a little pretend you're in Hawaii and you know how to do those beautiful dances. And lower yourself down to the ground. Slide your heels in to your butt. Well, that's impossible. Up to your butt. Feet are hip distance apart. So we often overguess how big our hips are. And then just take your heels out a little wider. Feel the backs of your arms on the ground. Feel your shoulders on the ground. Puff up your chest. And with your inhale, roll your hips up. You can slide your arms underneath your body and hold hands. Noticing that when you reach your forearms down, your arms down to the ground, your hips lift up a little higher. So this is one of the dynamic efforts of this pose. Another one is to actively not only feel the tension between your knees as if you had like a hip distance rubber band around them, but also start to reach your knees towards your toes as your chest comes back to your face. And then release your arms lower down, bend your knees, stack your knees over your hips, line up your heels with your knees, bring your hands behind your head. Inhale, lift up your head, pull your belly to the ground. And with your exhale, just take your left elbow to your right knee, extend your left leg. Pull your belly down again. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. You want to feel that you're reaching your opposite elbow away, like to the top of the yoga mat. Inhale to center. One more round. It's the world's slowest bike. You're right. So you want to, it's so slow that you can be precise. Beautiful. Come back to center. Place your feet on the ground, bridge or wheel. So wherever your edge is, and even if yesterday your edge was wheel, it doesn't have to be that way today. So more than anything, feel the integrity of your pose. So notice how your feet are. Maybe walk them a little closer together still, towards one another. Yes, very nice pair. Get active with your knees, get active with your arms. Lift up higher and then bring your chin to your chest and roll down. Now this time, we're going to stretch our legs straight up to the sky. Again, pulling our belly down to the ground. Inhale, lift up your head. And then a little similar, like how we started with the stretching up to the ceiling, take your right hand to the outside of your left foot, reach, and then reach the opposite, left to the outside, and really feel like you're climbing up a rope. And again, use the power of your thinking to actually make it feel more like you're really climbing up a rope. Like use this effort. You have to heft and lift your whole body for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bridge or wheel. So if you've done wheel, you can do wheel again. You might notice I don't want to. Different conversation, yeah? So even if you do it for just a couple of breaths, you can usually stay for one more. Let yourself be provoked and challenged for 5, 4, 3, 2, none. And then lower yourself down to the ground. You can take your feet mat distance apart and let your knees drop together. Now we've actually done quite a number of twists in our class, but if you still want to do a little like one breath twist, you're welcome to, or you're welcome to come straight into Shavasana. So you can do different variations. Happy baby is a nice one, but also just doing a twist after your back bends. And then finding your way to Shavasana, you want to feel that you can be really relaxed. So if your lower back hurts, keep your knees bent. But lie so you feel the support of the manifested earth. Your eyes are closed, your palms open to receive. And then you find yourself in stillness. Your breath might take a little while to relax into a comfortable, relaxed, unforced breath. But allow your sacred attention to stay in your body, in this place here, in the room. With your next inhale, invite your breath to the edges of your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Smile or just make some faces. Stretch your body long on your inhale. And on your exhale, curl into a ball and roll onto your side. Echoing the way we came into the world. Fetal position. And then find your way up into a comfortable seat. Allow your hands to meet at heart center. Close your eyes and lift up an image of either the person or place you dedicated your practice to. Empty your breath. Let's take a deep inhale. Bring your prayer hands to your third eye. Invite the divine light. And as we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. And so much love. Au revoir. Farewell. Thank you. Auf Wiedersehen, adieu. To you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Yeah.